Since being traded to the Utah Jazz, Lauri Markkanen has ascended from an okay player to an absolute monster. He made his first All-Star team and won Most Improved Player last season, and while he's currently hurt, he's been really good this season as well. Through 15 games, he's averaging 23.7 points per game, 8.7 rebounds per game, and 1.1 assists per game on 48.4, 38.3, 84 splits at a 62.5 true shooting percentage. Markkanen is the ideal star forward wing hybrid, and while he's a bit older than the current hot names among those tall perimeter skill players, he does belong in that group of the next generation of NBA basketball because he fits the description perfectly. But quickly before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I'd really appreciate if you would like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen is one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA. Career 37.1% on 6.5 attempts per game, and during his time with the Jazz, he's at 39% on 7.9 attempts per game. The area he's grown the most is as an on-ball three-point shooter. His creation ability has expanded his game overall, but as a three-point shooter in particular, it makes him one of the most versatile in the league. Prior to joining the Jazz, he was a really good three-point shooter, but he was more of an off-ball spot-up shooter, someone that spaces the floor for focal point creators like Levine in Chicago and Garland in Cleveland. But in Utah, he's expanded his game to not just be a floor spacer, but a primary focal point on the perimeter. He's one of the 10 best shooters in the NBA, and I think he's the best shooter in the NBA that's 7 feet or taller, based off his efficiency, volume, and shot diet. The other area where Markkanen has seen a jump is his finishing. Markkanen wasn't a big-time finisher prior to the Jazz trade. He was known more for his floor spacing, and honestly was kind of viewed as a negative inside the arc, which is why he drew comparisons to a guy like Ryan Anderson. But with the Jazz, something just flipped in his mind. In his first season with the Jazz, he shot 66.5% at the rim on 6.1 attempts. This season, he's shooting 69.9% at the rim on 4.9 attempts. He's become more aggressive attacking the basket. He seems to have improved as an athlete. He wasn't this explosive or this quick prior to joining the Jazz. I don't know what's going on, but he's clearly gotten better in those areas, and he's getting to the line a lot more. And that can be attributed to his improvement as a self-creator, just like how it has expanded his three-point shooting. This is where the modern NBA is trending, being able to hit threes at a high clip and attacking the basket, which Markkanen does well. I would go as far to say that his improvements as an athlete and slasher are the biggest reason he has taken a jump from a perceived complimentary piece at best to a legit star. Now, I don't believe that Markkanen is the superstar level player. He isn't a big time mid-range shooter. According to Cleaning the Glass, he was in the 49th percentile last season and is currently in the 40th percentile this season on long mid-range jumper attempts. So he's not really a 3-level scorer. I was a bit shocked that he doesn't take that many mid-range jumpers. I feel like that's something he would be good at. However, it's not the biggest deal in the world because of his ability to create, attack the basket, get to the line, and be an elite three-point shooter. He also isn't a big-time playmaker either. Now, he's not a selfish player. He's not a black hole on offense that stops the flow of the game whenever he touches the basketball. But it's not really something they ask him to do in terms of responsibility as a playmaker. And I don't think there's really anything to suggest he would ever be a really big playmaker, or even a guy that could average around 4 to 7 assists per game. This is why I believe that Markkanen is more of a legit all-star to borderline all-NBA player than a true All-NBA to superstar level player. If he was a good mid-range shooter and or a good playmaker, he would be one of the 10 to 15 best players in the world based off his ability to attack the basket and be an elite 3-point shooter combined with those two things. But that's not the world we live in, and it's honestly not the biggest deal in the world that he's not a superstar. He's still probably one of the 30 best players in the NBA. He's a legit all-star talent, and there's no shame in that. I just wanted to explain why I believe that this is someone that's a caliber player that is really good all-star, but maybe not in a caliber that's a bit higher than that. But who knows, really? He's been really good, and the improvement that he has made over the past 2 years is so remarkable to the point I don't think you could rule it out. Lauri Markkanen is the standard for a modern day star forward. At 7 feet tall, he can play both the 3 and the 4. He's great as a shooter, he's capable of creating on the ball, and he's shooting well off the ball as well. He's good at attacking the basket, but I believe his most value lies in his versatility. He's capable of being the on-ball player as a focal point. He's capable of playing off the ball with other creators. He's like Versatility cranked to 1,000, and Versatility was a monster that was so ahead of his time. Check out the video I did with Matt Issa about Versatility. I'll link that in the description below and pinned comment. I definitely think it's worth checking out. But anyways, this is why I view Markkanen as an ideal second option on a true contender. I think he would fit perfectly next to a big-time offensive creator. Guys like Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Trae Young, LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, or Tyrese Halliburton. I know the Jazz haven't been good, and it's led to this idea of trading Lauri, but I don't agree with that. Even if I don't think he can be a superstar on a contender, he's still a player worth keeping. I like the pieces the Jazz have added, and even though I don't think they have that superstar on roster right now, you have to remember they just started their rebuild. They just hit the reset button. It's way too early to talk about trading a piece like this. He's only 26 years old, just a year older than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jason Tatum. Sure, he's not the super young star you would hope for, but he's still young enough to fit the timeline. If they get their star player to build around in the next year or two, and his game is one that develops quickly, it's worth keeping Lauri around, because Lauri is a player who has a game that translates well with time. So he could still be a star in his late 20s and early 30s. However, even though I don't agree with the idea of trading him, at least for right now, it is a luxury for the Jazz. Either you get to keep him and have this great player as a part of your rebuild that's still relatively young and fits the mold of a modern star, and has a game that ages like a fine wine more than likely, or you can trade him and get a lot in return. If the Jazz told the league that Lauri Markkanen was on a trade block, they could get a ton back. They could get multiple first-round picks and promising young talent, because Lauri Markkanen is a player that could elevate a team from really good playoffs to a potential contender for the title. He's that good. So one way or another, they would get something out of this. Regardless, it's clear Lauri is a great player who's proven a lot of people, including myself, wrong. The Bulls gave up on him after he showed signs of regression after a promising second season. It took till the end of the summer for him to get signed in free agency, and the Cavs saw a chance to upgrade by trading him. I don't blame either the Bulls or the Cavs for what they did. The Cavs are in a good spot with Donovan Mitchell. In hindsight is 2020. The move the Bulls made sense at the time. But it's clear now that Lauri Markkanen is a star. He's one of many examples of why development isn't linear and why development never has a time limit. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways to help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and I'll be reaching my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Let me know what you think about Lauri Markkanen in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about where you think he ranks in the league. Should he be traded? If he is, what teams should trade for him? Love to hear all that down below. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.